Hi everyone, this is Terra. Welcome back to my channel. So I hope everybody's having a great day today, and I am here to have our very first stash of cash, use your stash. So I pulled out the one obvious stash thing I never use for me is my scraps. So I pulled out my box that I keep in the bottom drawer of my other desk here, and I pulled it out, and this morning I got to work on, also I have a ton of these boxes that I save of different things that we eat here. Crackers, cookies, I mean, you name it, I've saved the box for it. And so what I did this morning, I did two different prototypes and playing with it. The first one I did was I collaged on the outside of the box, and I just put it together with some cloth, and then I decided to use it for a larger holder for my ephemera. It's kind of a take on what I did with these folders, but it's a good way to use your boxes and a good way to use some leftover fabric, leftover paper that's in your scrap box. And so then I came back over and I thought, well, I'm going to make something a little more secure and see how that goes. So I went ahead and did this one, and I collaged on the outside, and then I gave it cardstock on the inside here, and I didn't collage really, I just put two larger pieces of my scraps inside to make it look cute. And then I did a base with fabric, and I did some on the edges, and I mean, we could even have fun and make like a lid or something, you know, but I didn't do all that. I really wanted to utilize these boxes, and I thought it'd be a fun way to do it. So let's get started. Today you're going to need whatever size box you want. I mean, this is a Triscuit box. This is a wheat thin box. They're about the same size, and then I have here the white cheddar cheese and the ginger snap, which are both a little bit bigger. So just depends on what you want to use and how big you want your box to come out. And like I said, it's kind of a take on my little holders that I did the folders with, but I think it's a little prettier and a little more fun because now I've used up some scraps, and that is, you know, always a good thing, right? So you need your bone folder, probably, maybe, not necessarily, but just, yeah, actually you will need it a couple of times. A pencil, I brought along a ruler, pair of scissors, and I did a couple of different kinds of glue. Now I ran out of this one this morning. This is my favorite stick, you know, glue stick, but I'm out. So I pulled out my other second favorite, and I'm using some Fabri-Tac, okay? So those are the glues, and just in case we need this, I pulled out a glue spreader. And so, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead, and I think since I've done two that size, I think I'll do one a little bigger this time. So I'm gonna use the white cheddar box. And the fun thing is, you know, you've already got your base, you know, for your, I don't know what to call this, I guess just a keeper tote or something, you know, a little keepsake box you can hold things in, storage box, whatever. But yeah, you've got your base and it's strong, so you know you're good there. And you're just gonna, I like the first one, okay, with just the cloth here. So if you don't mind it kind of being not as sturdy, this is good, okay? But I kind of, for me, I kind of thought that the one with the cardboard was a little better for me, or with the cardstock. So, and you can use cardboard. You could use another box and cut the piece to fit here. You know, whatever you want to do. I just used cardstock because it was in my scrap box. So I'm going to flip it over and get my scraps over here. Pull them over here next to me. And this is, I didn't even really do any rhyme or reason. I just started grabbing pieces, and what I did do was I glued them over the edges enough so that I can fold them over, because once you do the inside, you're going to want this to have that, so you can glue that on top and it'll look nice and neat. You know, it's a neat line to do it like that. So I just went ahead and started gluing. Okay, so I'm going to pull my glue stick out, and we're gonna start gluing. And it's basically a very fast collage. Like I said, I wasn't really on both boxes. I did not think about it. I just did it. Honestly, I just grabbed stuff. Some of it doesn't even match. and I didn't care. First of all, on this corner now, okay, what I did do on the corners to make sure, I kind of brought it in, because when I tried to just fold it, it wasn't, I didn't like how it turned out. It was too thick there on the corner to fold it, so I did, this one needs trimmed off. It's too long. Okay, just one second. I did go ahead and cut these corners, okay? So you just cut a V right there. And it's going to be covered on the inside anyway, but we just want to be able to glue this part down, okay? And you don't want it to be super thick. Now it is harder to get the cardboard or the cardstock to glue down. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and use a little more powerful glue on this part. On the outer part, it's fine, but when you're coming in, that's why I had all my glues with me just in case, because I knew I was seeing it lift. So, yeah. So you just put your glue here, just real quick. It doesn't have to be a ton, of course. So you guys are probably always thinking I use way too much glue, so who am I to say that, right? Okay. Hold it down. That's that art glitter glue, so it dries pretty quick. So does that Fabri-Tac. You know, Fabri-Tac is good. Fabric to fabric, paper to paper, fabric to paper. So it's very strong. But I don't want to waste it because it's also super expensive. So I just didn't want to. Okay, there we go. So we got our first piece down. All right. You get it, right? So just start grabbing from your box, having some fun, creating a little bit of collaginess on the front. Yes, I said collaginess. That's a word, maybe, in my world. I mean, you know. Yes, I make up words. I hope you can live with that. These are actually from my collage that's in my shop. This picture here, I had made when I first started doing all of this. I had made a collage, and I went ahead and made like a digi-kit. Well, I wouldn't even, it's digital, but I don't know if it's a kit, but you know, collages. They're all on there. Okay. I may just on the next one wait to do this part. Oh, and I keep forgetting to cut that first before I. So snip that corner kind of into a V. Okay. If you don't get the right angle on that, it will. See the thinner paper. This is super thick. It's having a harder time sticking, but the thinner paper will stick down easier. But I'm still going to use this. What was I going to say? I lost my train of thought. Oh, I was going to say, instead of doing this all the way around and flipping it back and forth, I think I'll just build the collage on top, and then I'll do the folding over. That'll be quicker. So sorry for that. Okay, let's see. This one seems to kind of have a feeling of, I think we're going to go like this. And I did this, I just used huge chunks. Now, I am going to use a bigger piece on the spine. What I noticed was that it was, when I folded it, it did try to, not necessarily rip, but it did a little tear, and I don't like that. Yeah, I've got all of this stuff in my box over here. I've got some crazy amounts of stash that I've not used. Fun things that I just cut them apart. You know, I'd done the 12 by 12s, and these are pieces that are just, well, we all have them, you know, that are just left over. And let's see. Okay. I probably should have not done that, because now I've got glue hanging over the edge. Duh. Okay. Nope, need to pull that over a little bit. I did notice that when I used cardstock on the spine that it had a tendency to pop up, and I had to cover it. So what I'm gonna wipe this off first so it don't stick so bad. But what I'm gonna do, because this will probably want to come up on me, I'm going to put another piece overlapping this portion, and that way it'll be nice and stuck down. Okay. Let's see here. It's kind of a cool piece. I was using the glue stick, now I've moved over. I'm so used to using my art glitter bottle, I forgot to put it down and use the other. Sorry about that. The glue stick I found this morning was kind of faster, is why I was using it. Like I said, remember to push this over just a little so it pushes this piece down, because it'll pop up if you don't have something covering it, okay? This paper is actually buckling a little bit, which is weird. There was nothing wrong with it before I used it. It's so weird. Hold that down real good. Okay. Grab another piece. It looks, you know, looks like something I like here. I'm just going to go ahead and you can really, you know, one of the things I think I've mentioned before, but, you know, it's when you start not just matching, but trying to, you know, pick things that, I don't know, go with something like this, that you can tend to make the task harder than it really is. Does that make sense? Because it's kind of like, you don't have to make this a difficult task. This is it's gonna be cute, and let's see. And people just glance at it and they see the culmination of the pictures together, and it's pleasing to the eye. You know, yeah, a lot of collages are done very, very professionally and beautiful, but this is not something that we need to like be super focused on. This is for fun. This is for using up scraps and creating a tool that we can use, and you know, in our stuff, which is for us to store our ephemera or anything. You could store, you know, you could store in this. You could actually keep, you know, your daubers, or you could keep your paint, just anything that you want to keep in a place that's all together and kind of not falling all over the place, you know. So yeah. Let's see. I'm gonna go up like that. And I'm going to use my glue. My glue stick, I mean. It does work. Okay. Oh, you guys, if you watched my video on Monday when I was talking about my new weight loss program that I've started. So, okay, it's the truth. I promise you, I'm not making this up. In 2 days, I have lost 7 pounds. 7 pounds. Is that amazing or what? I have had to pray a lot and spend time, you know, really seeking the Lord, because there's been times where I've really wanted some Splenda, you know, in my tea, or I think I miss my drinks more than the food. But this first part of the program, the first 3 weeks, you are not to have any type of sugar or sweetener, even the good sweeteners, you know. She really wants you to get to the point where your taste buds are back to what they're supposed to be, and then reintroduce healthy, like healthy sugars, you know, or healthy substitutes, you know, such as stevia and honey and all that. And I have some in there waiting for me to use, and I'm like, oh, I want it so bad. My husband's laughing, but I'm good. I can do this with the Lord. All things are possible, right? And I'm going to go ahead and trim this. But yeah, 7 pounds. Is that awesome or what? I'm so excited. I know it's water weight at this point. I had a lot of swelling and inflammation. I had told you guys about my heart surgery and stuff, and so yeah, I deal with swelling issues and stuff, and but yeah, I was excited and I feel better. I do feel better. First couple of days I was like headachy and stuff, and I think that's just due to getting some of that junk out of my system. It's coming out, the toxins, they come out. So, but yeah, that's my good news. I'm very excited. If you guys are interested in it, like I said, it's called New Life Promise. It's where food meets faith. That's what it's called. Okay, and it's very good program. It's very thought-provoking. So I am just grabbing and bringing in, and like I said, it's a collaging type effect. It's gonna look cool. We don't have to worry about that. Just get your glue all over. Okay, put that there. Make sure I've got enough hanging over to fold it down. Okay, so I've got all of my areas covered. Now I am going to trim some of this off. So I'm going to turn it over so I can see where I need to trim. Okay, not too much of it. Okay, and then we're going to cut the V in the corners so that we can fold it over correctly. And like I said, you don't have to worry. This doesn't have to be perfect because we are going to cover this with paper on the inside, and then on the outside we're going to cover it with some fabric. So it's going to be cute, and it's not going to be noticeable or seen at all. So you just trim off those corners. I used to worry when I'd see people trim corners on stuff, and I'd be like, oh, I can't do it. I can't get that right. And now I've realized, you know what? Just don't worry about it. Just do it. It'll work. Okay, I'm going to get the Fabri-Tac ready. I'm not using it yet. I am going to use this glue for the paper here. Like I said, don't need a ton. Just fold it up over and hold it down. Get your dry wipe, press it. Make sure it's as flush, as you can to the sides there. It is easier if you have, if you're utilizing, what do you call it? Like a thinner scrapbooking paper, or you've got coffee dye paper you're using, or whatever. It is a little bit easier with the thinner paper, of course, but it is definitely doable with the cardstock. So, if you don't mind arguing with it just a little bit for a minute and holding it down, you should be good. Okay. I guess I'll do this whole piece at one time. We'll see how good I do at this. I'm going to go from the middle and work my way out. Okay. Just press. Oh, and I went to Walmart this morning to grab some glue because I was just about out of my glue stick on the other one too. And I got the Fabri-Tac. And while I was there, I noticed that they had, I had told one of you, you had asked me where I got my thing and what this is. This is actually just a placemat, like a table placemat. And on the other side, it says live, laugh, love. But I got 5 new ones. I got 1 sunflower and then 4 new ones of this because I do like this thing to use as a glue mat and to work on, and then it's perfect to cover that shiny area for you guys while you watch the video. So, but yeah, so it's at Walmart for, I got them for 98 cents. Okay, and totally worth it if you just want something quick to use to, to lay your stuff out on. Thought I'd tell you guys about that just in case anyone else was interested. And I'm going to raise this up, make sure this is glued together. Okay. little bit more here. All right, start from the middle again and just work my way out. Oop, this part's super easy because it's just the paper. Okay. I just find that I have more cardstock in my scrap box than I do regular paper or thinner copy paper or scrap of paper. So that's why I went ahead and used a lot of cardstock. I'm gonna put a little more glue right here. It's not wanting to hold. There we go. That should do the trick. Okay. All right, so there's the inside, the outside. It's all ready. It's not too bad. And then you're going to go ahead and you're going to fold. Now this is when you're going to have to hold these down a little bit. And I did know, like I said, you will possibly, I'm probably folding it too soon. I should wait until it dries. But this is really thick, so, you know, you can sometimes get a little tear in it, which to me it's not a big deal. But a lot of stuff that I work on like this, I will Mod Podge over it. And that actually kind of takes care of any of those problems, you know. So we're going to fold that up. And see, we got our little flat bottom. It's ready for us to attach our, ready for us to do the inside and attach our sides. But yeah, it's kind of cute, right? So okay, now we're going to go ahead and I'm going to pick some paper for the inside. This is, like I said, super easy. What I did before, I just grabbed like some big pieces of paper that I had. Let me see if I have any really big ones anymore here. I used them this morning on that other one. Well, I don't want to grab anything out of my box. Here's one that's this is kind of nice. Okay. So I'll do this one for one side. And you just cover it with your glue. Come on now, there we go. Now we're gonna go ahead and lay it out, and I just put it over the edge, you know, about 1/8 of an inch on each side. Okay. Now when we fold this closed, we may get a little bit of a fold. See right here. I am, because of doing the video, I would probably, if I were you guys, I would probably let it sit and dry a little bit before you open and close it, and that way you won't have to deal with that issue if that bothers you. For me, I'm not going to be selling these. I'm not giving them away. They are for me. I wanted to use them. I'm always looking for ways to store stuff, so these were a good idea, and I thought I'd come along and share it with you. That's almost perfect. It's just a little bit off on this side, on one side. But yeah, if you're gonna think about doing like a gift box, or these actually could be cute little gift boxes to put gifts in. You know, like how you do the little bags with gifts when you do a gift. Yeah, these could actually be used. Let me see, where does this fold? Oh, that folds like right, perfect, right there. Look at that. So this is going to be the other side. This tree. I'm going to use this. That's like perfect. Cool. But yeah, you could even use these like as a gift box to put a present in, or, you know, maybe ephemera for someone that you want to gift to them. And a happy mail or something. Lots of ideas. I mean, anything that you need to store, you can use a little storage area for it. This is that kind of thing. I like these kind of videos. And this morning I was thinking, what can we make that we can what can we make with our scraps and what can we use up our stash on, and it would be practical, useful, and not just some silly little thing we're making that we're never going to use. I like to make things that I'm actually going to get to use. It's kind of a fun aspect of this art that we do. I like to use or I like to give them away or sell them, because I don't want journals sitting on my shelves. I don't know about all of you, but for me, I do not enjoy having a bunch of journals on my shelves that are never getting used. Yeah, I just don't. And I can't use everything that I make, and there's just no way. So for me, it's definitely that I sell them and give them a home, or give them to someone. Make sure they have a home. I'm just pressing extra hard. This one seems to be. Where's my towels? Here they are. I want to make sure in that crevice there, see how it's lifting, so I may pause the video and let that dry for a few minutes. Once I get this down, I'm going to put this piece on this side. Yeah. Actually, I kind of like I think I'll do the the coffee dyed side. I like that even better. So that's what I'm going to do. All right. I only go back over that edge real quick because this glue dries so quick that by the time I get it on the body of the piece of paper, it might be completely dry on the other portion, and I don't like that. Okay, oops, bring that down. Darn it, I brought that too high. Oh, just on that side. Let's see. There we go. There we go. Okay. So it's basically, you know, when we make our journals out of these boxes, we do approximately the same thing as what I'm doing right now. I know when I do a hardcover journal and I make a collage on it, this is what I do, and then I cover it on the inside with my papers and stuff. And so yeah, we're basically doing that, and then we're gonna seal it up and make it into this adorable little carrier. So, and like I said, this is fabric on the sides. I just thought it was a fun addition. You don't even really have to do it. Once we're done with it, you'll see you can actually leave it with just the paper if you don't like the fabric. I am going to take a quick break and let this dry for just a minute, and I'll be right back. Hi guys, I'm back. Okay, so what I did while I was away was I waited for this to dry a little bit, and I went into it and I actually kind of pushed down with my bone folder the areas of paper I saw that were kind of trying to come up a little bit. Okay, like I said, it's not, I mean, these are going to be fine, it's not going to matter, it's down inside this, but I did that, and then I clipped it together so that it would kind of stay, you know, bent. Okay, so now we're going to start working on our side panels, and like I said, you can use anything you want. I mean, I used the paper because for me that was fine, but you can also use the sides of another box, you know, anything that you feel like fits your purpose. Now this is, on this one here, there's the tiniest little gap at the bottom. Okay, I have no idea if you can see that on the inside. Let me see. Down in here in this corner, there's the tiniest little gap, and it's because this piece that I used on the other one was not totally flush. Okay, I used it like 5 inches. Okay, on that box. This box is, I think, a little bit taller. Yeah, this is 6.5. Okay, so let's see, or 6 1/4. So I would need a piece of paper that's gonna either, and it looks like these are 6-inch pieces here. Yeah, all of these that I have are 6-inch. So that 1/4 of an inch is just gonna be that tiny little space. It's not too much, watch. When I get this over here, there you go. So see, it's only that much. And I'm gonna put material on the bottom of mine, so it won't matter. But if you're planning on leaving yours up to where you want it to be flush, or you can even make the paper from here to here, and you can do a fold over on it so that it actually is a little fold over on that. I just noticed this is loose here. Must not have gotten enough of that glue on there. Okay. But yeah, it just really depends on how you want it to look, honestly, because I'm using it for my purpose. It's just for me. I don't really care if it's perfect. It is going to be nice though. I'm going to measure it out and make sure. I think what I'm going to use is, I think I'll use, I'm looking for some thick, I think these will be fine. It's these pieces from Tim Holtz. So when you do this, you're going to want it to be about 1 inch. Okay, so I'm going to measure 1 inch, and then I'm going to do a fold. That's what I did earlier, and that worked good. I'm going to do 1 inch here. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead, and what you want to do is you want to measure your spine. My spine is, yeah, 2.5 inches. Okay, so I want this piece to be my height, which is your side of your box. Mine's 6 1/4. I'm gonna do 6 because, like I said, I don't mind it even having a little gap at the top. It's fine. But mine's 6 inches high on this particular box. So, and then I want it 1 inch over, and since the spine is 2.5, I want about 1 inch on each side over, so it's going to be 4.5 inches. Okay, so you're going to measure on your paper. I'm going to get to where I can see that line. I'm going to go ahead and do it a little darker so I can see it. I can't really see it in my lighting over here. Let's see, there we go. Okay, now I'm going to measure over 4.5 inches to here. Okay, so I'm going to do a line down this side here and trim this part off. Okay. And this part is going to be my side panel for the folder. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to measure 1 inch from the outside in on this side as well, because I want to fold. Okay, and what I'm doing is I'm going to fold that and decide which side of the paper you want on the inside and which you want on the out. The outside's not going to show as much because of the fact that it's going to be covered by cloth, at least mine is. So you're going to fold that up. Okay, and this is where you'll use your bone folder or your scissor handles. Make sure it's pressed down nice. And then we're going to go on this side where that line is again, and we're going to fold that down. Hold it tight when you pull it across so it's nice and even. And this inch here is going to be what goes around your box, okay, like this. And it's going to give you that side panel, okay, see? And I think actually on this one, I probably am going to go ahead and just take it to the bottom and glue it at the bottom base there. It's still going to have a tiny gap, but because I'm going to put cloth up over, it won't matter because it'll be sealed. As you can see on this one, it's sealed up. Okay. It looks kind of quaint like that, you know. So I'm going to go ahead and measure this one. I'm going to do the 4.5 inch measurement first. Okay, and then this just happens to be the ruler that I use for my spines, and I had marked on it where I do my holes on my journals. That's why there's a mark on 4.5. Okay. Okay. Piece for my box, another piece for my box. And then we're going to go in by 1 inch. Okay. And then we're going to go over here. It's just my folding mark where I know I want to mark it. All right. Okay. This is not difficult. I mean, it takes a minute. I actually made these earlier because I wasn't instructing or waiting or anything between gluing. I made this one in like 20 minutes, and I made this one in about a half an hour. These are super quick. They really are super easy. Just kind of a fun little project. Now on this part, I'm trying to remember, did I use, no, not yet. I'm gonna use that on the cloth part. I don't want to waste it on this. This is good enough glue. This art glitter glue is so strong. So I find it to be strong for me. Okay, so we're gonna put some on the side here. And I did them, well, I'll try it this way. I did them one at a time earlier. I got the other piece on first and then did the other side. We'll see how it goes. Let me see. Might as well try it and see which way works better for me. Okay, so make sure you're writing, I have my writing in the right direction, and I'm going to go ahead and put this on. And if you're using the kind of glue like I am that glues a little fast, you want to make sure that you get this on there pretty quick. I'm just bringing it down slightly from the top. It's not an exact on the bottom either. There's a gap there. But as we've talked about, it's going to be fine because it's going to be covered. Unless you don't want to cover it, and then you could bring another piece of paper over your bottom here and like make that, you know, fit it so that it covers this little gap. Okay, and that looks good. Okay, now we're going to do this side. And I think that worked pretty good to put it on both sides, so I'm going to do it again. Didn't have too much mess. And it was one less step for me to do, so. Okay. All right. I have no idea what I'm going to call these on the title of the video because they're kind of a folder. They're kind of a little box. I'm not sure. I'm like, what are these? Yeah, so you just kind of bring it to where you want it, press it on, make sure that it's pressed down. You can get your dry wipe and kind of wipe it down, make sure it's cleaned up. Okay. All right, so we have our little box. Look at that. And it's cute on the inside. It's got its paper. It's all set. Now I just have to pick what cloth I want, and with this one I'm thinking well, let me see, I've got this one too. I had a few of them I pulled out. There's some feathers. I'm not liking that one for this, but I think maybe one of these. I think I'm going to do this one. I like this cloth, and it kind of matches this different parts of this, so not that I'm trying to be matchy just kidding. Okay, so now on this part, what we're going to do is, if I'm not mistaken, I did this at about a 3.5 because I left a tiny bit. Yeah, let me check here. I think I tore this down at about, now let's do it at a 4. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to pick your cloth and pick the area you want to be there. I want to bring some of this design in, so I'm going to go over a little bit further than I need to. And I just tore mine down. You can cut yours if you like. I like my torn edges, so that's my thing. And then what we're going to do first is we're going to do the bottom. Okay, so we're going to flip it over. And we're going to look here at the bottom. Now this little part right here is not wanting to stick, so I've got to get it glued down better. I obviously did not put enough glue. Or the right kind, so we'll just make sure. Okay. That should do the trick. I probably used this glue stick and it didn't stick as well. That other glue stick I showed you, the Scotch Create, is way, oh, that stuff is strong. I see another little tiny part right here. I'm going to bring some glue up under just to be sure. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, I want some of that showing. So I want this to come up just about an inch over the side, okay? Doesn't have to be exact, but that's about what I'm gonna do, approximately, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna cut my cloth on this side, okay, about an inch over, and tear it off all the way down. And on this first one, just so you know, I didn't do the bottom. I left it open. So we're going to do this type of fold on the bottom. But what I did was I did it in strips. Instead of one solid piece, I did 3 strips on each side. Okay? You know, the sky's the limit on your ideas. Whatever you are imagining, go for it. It's yours. And that goes with anything that we do in this wonderful craft that we are a part of. You know, anything goes. If it works and it, you know, and you like the result, then yeah, it's perfect. It's perfect. Don't feel at all, and I hear so many people say stuff like this, and I understand more and more now that I'm doing videos. Do not feel at all like you have to be like anyone else on YouTube or anyone else in your classes that you may take for crafting. Nothing. It's all, you know, it's very relative on this type of thing. It's fun and it's what you like. So what I do with this type of glue, I kind of smush it down, and I do it quickly because this stuff dries fast, but I don't like it to seep through the cloth, and it tends to do that and feel wet. So I kind of smush it a little bit, just wipe it, you know. I don't do it all the time, but on some areas I do. Now it looks like I got this a little bit further on one side than the other. Not really going to matter, but I'm just making sure. Yeah, there we go. So now what we're going to do, we're not going to cut anything. We're just going to fold this, okay? And what I did earlier was I glued it, and then, let me think. Did I glue it on the sides first? Yeah. I glue it on the sides, okay? And then once I've got that side glued up, then I'm going to fold it, and you'll see, and we'll have it folded up. Or did I do it this way? You know, I may have done it that way. It really don't matter. Either way, I'm going to do the end. Okay, we're going to do the end first. I'm not going to confuse everybody with wondering what I did before. This is good. Now in this case, I'm not going to do that swiping first, but I am going to go like this lightly. Don't press too hard, and that glue won't seep through your cloth as much. Okay, the Fabri-Tac has a tendency, it's a very wet glue, I find, and it's a wonderful glue. It works awesome, especially for something like this, but it can tend to be difficult to dry, and you don't really need a ton of it. I probably am using more than I need, but just lightly brush it down. Okay, even lightly, you'll feel it seep through. But it'll dry pretty quick. Okay, and then what we're going to do on the sides, this part is easy. We're just going to take a tiny bit, okay, and we're going to put right here, and we're going to glue this to the side right there. We're going to do the same on all 4 corners. A little tiny bit right there, and push that up so it sticks. Okay. going to be bringing our cloth, oh, there we go. We're going to be bringing our cloth around from the sides, and so once we do the fabric like that, it's going to cover this little line here that we're creating. Oops. Oh, did you see what I just did? I tore it. I hit it really hard and tore it. Oh, Terra. I told you I'm clumsy. It's a good thing I have tape. I'm just taping it because it's for me. Now, I might figure something else out if it weren't for me, but because it's for me, Scotch tape all the way. There we go. Okay. Anyway, I told you I'm clumsy. So now we're going to do the sides. And this time you're going to put a little bit of glue on this triangle and then run it across, okay? And a little bit of glue right there. And I just lay it on its side. And again, lightly. It also saves you from having a ton of glue on your fingers because Fabri-Tac glue is extremely sticky on the skin. Oh my goodness, it really is. It's kind of funny. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to put a little bit on the triangle and run it across again. Make sure you get it on there. And then a little bit on that triangle. And we're going to just push it up and lightly press it down. Okay, and that's already definitely starting the drying process on its own. So there's the bottom of our box, and now we're going to do the sides. And I've already trimmed this to that width that I wanted it. So all I have to do now is make sure that I've got a torn edge where I want it. So I'm going to rip, I'm not strong enough to rip those shorter pieces. So anyway, gotten older. There was a time when my hands were probably strong enough, but they're not anymore. Okay, so we're going to go there. And all I'm going to do is measure the side of my box, okay? Super easy. If you want it to come up above the edge of your box a little bit, you can. My box is, like I said, 6 1/4 inches long. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab my cloth, lay it out, and we are going to trim at approximately a 6 1/4. I'm going over just slightly. I always do that with fabric because I don't trust fabric. It tends to go and tear the wrong way. Just in case I tear it wrong. Okay. And get it straight. And now with this one, you can just use this instead of the ruler. Set that to the side, and we can use the cloth. Go ahead and lay it out. Okay. And then trim it from that point. Tear. I think I did this one a tiny bit longer, but that's okay. All right, now we're ready to lay it out. So now you're going to put it on the side. Make sure, yeah, you're good. You're good. Mine's over. I think I want to tear this down just a tiny bit if I can. We're going to see. Probably not. It's probably going to, nope. It's going to fight with me. So I'm going to trim it because I did do this one a little bit longer. And I will go ahead and just eventually, these will they'll come apart by themselves. Okay. And I'm going to sit that there. So now you're going to get your Fabri-Tac and you're going to lay it out across. Get you not a ton, but cover your area enough that it's definitely going to. Oops, wrong side, T. There we go. Yes, you heard me call myself T. That's my nickname. That's why I said that. That's what people who know me call me sometimes. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and do a thin line here. You can even just do it on your box, it'd probably be easier. You know me by now, I always try to do the things a little bit hard, and I figure out, oh yeah, I should have just done that. Okay, get that going again. Nice line there, okay. Lightly, like I said, don't press too hard and you won't have to wear glue. Okay, because it will dry. And then we do this side again. Run it along. This is a super little easy, fun way to make yourself another storage unit, a little piece of storage with paper that uses up scraps Uses up fabric. Oh, I've even got this one a little long. Uses up fabric scraps. I think anything that uses up my fabric scraps is awesome too, because I have so many. I know all of us do that do this. We're just, I don't know about you guys, girls, but I'm ridiculous. I buy fabric like it's, you know, like I need it. I don't need it. Trust me. And if you don't press too hard, it won't dry so fast, so you can then adjust your fabric as well. Okay. Got a little bend there, but that's all right. Okay. And we're going to do the bottom. And we're going to run it across. And I mean, if you really want to go to town with this, before you put your fabric on, you can also, like I said, you could distress and you could do some Mod Podging, which would be totally cute. I just wanted to do this really super quick on here for you guys. But you could get really fancy with this and make it look really awesome. It could be something you have on your bedside table to hold stuff next to you, you know? I mean, very decorative little box. Fun way to use a cracker box, right? And we have it. We're done. We did it. That's one side. That's the other. We've got our little sides with the material. I hope you guys liked today's video. If you did, please hit like and subscribe if you want to hang out with me some more. I sure enjoy your company, and I love coming on here. I told one friend, even if you were my only subscriber, I would still do these videos just to hang out with you and know you're with me when I'm doing these crafting video, crafting projects. So, but I hope you will decide to join me more often, and we'll have fun. Okay, so have a blessed day. Tomorrow's Thursday, so it's going to be Inspire Me Day. I haven't decided for sure what I'm going to do yet, so we'll all be surprised. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, you guys, and be blessed. Thanks again. Bye.